There are two ways of looking at it. One thing is, as you come to racing weekends or preparation, I only focus my life and my preparation on riding the bike. I just try to get small stuff out of my reach. I don't worry about
like
anything
to do
else.
Podcasts or press conferences.
Yeah.
Hi there, welcome to the MotoGP podcast, Last on the Brakes, the place to come for in-depth chats with the biggest names in the MotoGP community. You guys were just listening to an extract from today's show with none other than Miguel Oliveira, may or may not be, by the time this comes out, a two-time Portuguese Grand Prix winner. Who knows? Let's see.
Put some nice pressure on there.
Yeah, no pressure, Miguel. My name's Matt Dunn. As ever with me on today's episode, Fran Wild. Hey. How are you doing? I'm a little bit cold.
The way you said that then give me like commentary flashbacks. I'm like, are we doing an Asian Talent Cup race now?
We've actually, if you're watching this, you can see the grey clouds above us maybe or behind us. We're trying to get it done, the intro and outro, before it actually really rains on us. So.
We did, but we were joined today by Don Miguel. Thank you very much to him and Red Bull KTM Factory Racing for giving up their time on what is probably his busiest day of the year. Because it is media day, and at least on the track action days, you get some peace out on the bike.
Yes, but true.
So great little chat with him. Obviously, winner here last year. Talking a little bit about that, expectation, pressure, but also life away from the bike. And I really enjoyed some of his comments about how important it is to have more than just racing.
Yeah, I think it's actually really interesting, especially our second episode. We have Lucio Cecchinello, a man who wants to make it so that the riders have to only concentrate on the bike. And as you'll hear, Miguel does say in the lead up to actually racing, that is the only thing. But when it's time to take some downtime away from the bike, he's really good at quite doing that. And he's a very well cultured man in terms of Hollywood and all that, as well, as we find out too.
So I'm a little bit worried about the definition of culture for today's youth. If yours is Channing Tatum and Denzel Washington,
big
it
names.
Used to be,
21 Jump Street, an absolutely iconic film.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, no, I think I really enjoyed that episode, and I hope you guys too. We won't give away too much more, but before we go, we've got to have a question of the day. Then I suppose let's relate it back to what we've just been talking about. What do you guys think at home? Should riders try and find more in their lives away from the track at times when they don't have to focus on racing?
And
or
also,
should it be racing, that's it?
Do you want to see more of that? Because we do get a bit of a copy-paste social media world from the riders now. Arrived in Portimao, going cycling now.
Nothing wrong with cycling.
And
everyone loves a bit of cycling.
Not hating on the sport.
Yeah.
But, we don't really get to see that other side maybe sometimes, and who knows what everyone's up to.
Yeah, so I think that's a pretty good discussion point. So make sure you get involved. Type in the comments below on YouTube. Use the hashtag MotoGP podcast to get in touch.
I thought you'd done
and
the full.
Actually, at the end of the episode, and at the end of this one, you'll hear in the outro, and in future ones, we will be going through your comments that you leave us, especially on the YouTube version.
Yes, we will.
And answering some of them, good and bad. So I think, Fran, we should probably get going with the episode. Apologies in advance for the sounds of the bikes in the background. We have chosen the most beautiful spot, but you might say our ambition outweighed our talent when we were deciding where we should do it, which is best for audio. So sorry about that. Enjoy the episode.
Take it away, Don Miguel.
Miguel Oliveira. We're going to start, even though I know there's a bike about to finish doing their little warm-up in there. But first thing I want to ask you, that video we saw of you coming into the circuit yesterday, it was equally as amazing as the one we saw last year, but that must have had a bit of a different feeling, I guess, because last year was everyone like, yeah, Miguel, come on, you can do it, and this year is like, welcome back, King. So how did that feel for you?
Well, first of all, I think the setup, it's quite intimidating because it looks like we're in a meeting.
Yeah. Are you giving us a job interview?
We'll try and get some sofas, maybe some mood lighting for next time.
The budgets are cut. The budgets are low.
But I think that was definitely the feeling. I felt more nervous this season with the crowd reception than last year.
Yeah.
I guess because they were standing still, and there was always this constant danger of anyone jumping in the car with me or something else. I don't know. But it was great. It was super. Yeah.
It looks pretty cool. And we wanted to ask you, obviously, last year you had a good season overall, and you'd already had one victory before you got here, then that just made it even crazier, I guess, for you. How well recognized are you now in Portugal? Like, if you were to leave, obviously we can't, we're in the bubble, but in normal life, if you could just leave and go for dinner tomorrow, how many people would recognize you? Do you have to be more aware of that now?
Yes, I mean it's normal that in Portugal I'm more recognizable, and like right now I cannot make my life into shopping centers or just buying regular food because people look at me, and I was thinking that with the mask it would be a help, but people they still recognize you. So
Is that because you're wearing the cap?
no, I in my daily life I don't wear a cap. So
Is that the full team uniform?
so yeah, I'm but I do. I like to be very low profile. I'm not going out and dressing up like a star or really flashy or anything like that. I just want to do my normal life, but it's becoming a little bit harder just to do regular people stuff, I think.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it though?
I mean, it's a side effect of our job. It's not a goal for me to be famous, but it's definitely a side effect that you can use to your advantage in some occasions, and like booking restaurants or something like
I guess
that.
that helps.
But even just crossing out a message or representing something more than yourself, I think it's a good tool, and that's what I try to do. Yeah.
And you do go very pro-Portuguese. You're very like, yeah, I'm also racing for the country and, here representing. It's amazing. We've had the chance to race here twice as well. It's an incredible track. Honestly, one of the greatest.
It is, yeah.
So do you feel that as well on the bike everywhere? Is it something you feel more at a home race?
Yeah, I mean,
That's Fabio yelling in the background.
that's exactly something I would not do. Like, I think the opposite of Fabio.
No cycling and yelling for Miguel.
Yeah. I even got lost on your question.
Do you feel like you're racing as like Portuguese representing all the time? Is it more a home race feeling or?
For me, it's every race, and I always look at it as I'm just one more on the grid. Of course, when it comes to home GPs, you always have this special feeling. But I guess that's everyone. Every rider has this feeling when it comes to racing at home. But me being the only Portuguese in the championship, it definitely makes it more special. And gives a little bit more of a feeling when you get a good result.
I'm gonna have to apologise to the listeners for the sound of the bikes in the background.
We're gonna get revving again.
If you're watching it, it's a great view that we've got here. I'm sure you can appreciate it. It's quite nice. It would look better with fans, but it does mean that it's a bit noisy.
We need the fans, hey? It's like Bury Ram, Le Mans, wall.
I'll tell you, they are ready to come. This is like they are super ready, and if they're not here on the grandstands, of course, because they are closed, they will be somewhere on the hills. You'll see a couple of them.
And what would it? I mean, in your opinion, what would it be like if they were here? Would it be completely covered in 88s and KTM stuff? You reckon?
I hope so. I hope so.
Just say yes, it's fine.
Yes.
So do you want to ask you though about pressure, because you're such a cool, calm character, and I kind of got the feeling, I've taken some photos of you in Parc Fermé when you came in last year when you won. I got the feeling that the only real pressure you feel was the pressure you put on yourself. You almost don't feel the external pressures. But am I wrong, or is that true?
Well, last year it was just a decompression, I think. You come into these weekends and there is an expectation. But it's something that you really build on yourself, and I'm actually happy that I had the experience last season, because I'm not taking the approach as if I have to win, because this is my home GP and I'm here to win. Of course, I'm here to win also this season, but it's not like a must. It's something that it will happen naturally. Yeah. So I guess I will be able to enjoy more this win that will come on Sunday than last year.
Love it.
I like that.
Spoiler.
This comes out not next week, but the week after.
Yeah, we're gonna know.
It'll be on the
how well this
Wednesday before
ages.
her ref. So
It
we'll
is cool
see.
because
That's
you can cut this part if
Of
it's not
course,
true.
yeah, of
If
course.
it is, I will look super like this guy's a visionary.
Don't worry, the guys who are filming you for the documentary series have got that covered anyway. No, but that's cool.
We want to, about expectation then. Your other win obviously was the Styrian GP. That was something a little bit different because here you arrived, there's expectation because you're the home rider, you're already a race winner. But in Styria, it was a pretty crazy race, all of those crashes and everything else, and then just that mad dash, that amazing final corner. How did that feel, and was it different once you'd won that race and then you carry on racing in the season knowing you'd already got that?
Well, it stood. I mean, the Styria GP was so crazy because I was not able to score points in the previous race, and then the race got red flagged, and I had the wrong front tire because I just didn't make the right decision, and so I really felt like when the race was red flagged, as the previous weekend, I felt like, here I have my second chance. So I just went for it and I grabbed it. I just cannot explain. The emotion was so different from the win I got here, because here, you start first, you start building up this gap, and you sort of expect, and as you come around 5 laps to go, you know already that you're going to win. And until the last corner, I didn't know if I was gonna end it up third or first,
or in the
I had
gravel.
no idea.
Yeah.
So it was crazy.
But we were talking just before you came, and you're now the winningest KTM rider in MotoGP. Did you expect that, given that you weren't in the factory team last year?
When I came aboard the Tech 3 team, I was just expecting to do a normal rookie season, rookie job, but it turned out to be a very tricky 2019 year with an injury in the middle. So I felt like my progression was like really, really flat. And I was just happy to do a normal, normal not in terms of calendar, but like a normal performing 2020 season. And I think that was really my first year as a MotoGP rider, because I really got good experience. I went in the front of a race. I had good qualifyings. I was able to learn from guys who were actually faster than me and had a lot of experience. So it was a great season, and coming into this year, it just I hope just to improve what I did last year.
Very cool. Well, we also have to ask you about not just racing. And you're quite unique in that you're kind of fully qualified to go and do another job. If you decided, I've had enough, you could just go and start being a dentist, pretty much. How have you balanced that? Because we see so many people now, the stereotype is like, no, racing only. The only way to get to the top is everything, live, breathe racing. And you've obviously done that here on track in the races, but you've also fit in other stuff. How do you balance that? Because you've arrived here at the same time as the people you raced back in the CV, for example.
Well, I must say that, first of all, every person is different and everyone will have a different view on it. But I didn't choose to go to university to have a backup plan. Once you go into a more professional mode in any field you choose to do as a career, you need to do it as a full-time job. And it's true that we have a lot of free time in between races, and we don't have a normal people schedule, so we have a lot of free time. And I think that it's just wrong to think your life goes just around one thing. I believe it's not healthy in the long term. I mean, I love bikes, I love competition, and as I'm not on the bike, I look to other races and I love to watch other things, but just as a pure pleasure, you have to do things which you like, and if you can make a living out of it later on when you finish your career, that's great. But me going to university was something that came from a young age. My father was allowing me to race because I just had good grades. I needed to do good in school
I
to
feel like that's the other way to some people as well, where eventually their family give up, like, okay, you can do bikes instead.
Yeah.
Do you get it as a reward then for also doing
I
well
got
at
it as a
school?
reward. Yes.
Okay.
I got it as a reward for good behavior and being good at school. And like one thing which is really important, it's like my father didn't want me to be a racer more than myself. You know, like
That's cool.
I see nowadays a lot of parents want a career for their children.
They're called motocross dads.
Yeah, like the motocross dads, go! And they are 7 years old and they are with the,
Yeah.
you know, like it's not the way to do it. You have to enjoy. I mean, just give a lot of tools to the children to develop and then see what they like. That's it.
It's really interesting you make that point then, because our last episode was with Lucio Cecchinello, and obviously his story, a World 125cc rider who started his own team, obviously now MotoGP, and we know him, but he wanted to make it so that in his team, when he was just the manager after his riding career, the only thing the rider ever had to worry about was riding the bike. His philosophy is the rider should only have to concentrate on that. But your sort of philosophy of when you were growing up, having something else to concentrate on, is that kind of, would you say it's like kind of different? Do you find it necessary for your progression to have other things to think about in your life?
It's
Or
not
what?
different. There are two ways of looking at it. One thing is, as you come to racing weekends or preparation, I only focus my life and my preparation on riding the bike. I just try to get small stuff out of my reach. You know, I don't worry
You don't
about
like
anything
to do
else.
podcasts or
No.
press conferences.
Yeah, actually.
I feel the pain.
But you know, it's part of the job, so I accept it. The thing is, I'm here to ride a bike, and that's what makes a career and what makes a result. But off the bike, I mean, I feel I need to just have a different life. Otherwise, you end up your career with 38, 40 years old, and you look around, you have no friends. You've given up so much time on family. I mean, it's there for you, but at what stage? And you have nothing else. So you maybe have fake friends, maybe have a good lifestyle, but that doesn't necessarily
What's
mean
the good
that's-
lifestyle if you can't share it with anybody?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Last year, you and I did a small video called A Couple With. We just asked you some very silly questions. And I remember I asked, like, who's your favourite celebrity? And you said Denzel Washington. Now, I don't think there's anybody
It was
else.
that niche callback.
It was very niche, but I don't think anybody else in the paddock would say it. And I think a lot of, especially the European-based riders, might not even know who Denzel Washington is.
No, come on.
So, well, no, maybe. I mean,
we
you
had
say that.
we had someone in this paddock, a very high profile person, get the chance to meet an actor in Austin one time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just had no idea.
Who they were.
We
but-
won't
No.
say it,
It
but
was-
it was someone who's incredibly famous.
Well, we can know.
And who was the
We
actor?
won't say the rider, but we'll say the actor was
Yeah.
Channing Tatum,
Oh, really?
and they didn't know
Yeah.
who it was, and they were like,
He did this school movies. How was Jump Street?
yeah, Jump Street,
21
yeah,
Jump
right.
Street.
Exactly right.
I mean,
21
yeah.
Jump
and that's
Street.
not to hate on anyone who's not loving Hollywood
Yeah,
culture.
yeah, exactly. Like,
But there are some references that, you know.
yeah, I just feel that you saying that about Denzel Washington is sort of has made me think like, okay, so Miguel's someone who when he goes home, he watches Netflix.
21
He's
Jump
he's
Street.
a more normal guy almost, you know.
Yeah.
But, so who is Miguel Oliveira outside? Then you've said it a little bit already, but what are you into outside of the track?
I mean, I try to keep that to myself, but I mean, yeah.
We won't tell anybody.
No, I'm a small entrepreneur, I would say. Do different kind of investments in construction recently. The past 3 years, start building houses, buildings, and this sort of stuff. With the company that me and my father have here, it was my father's background for many years. After that, we also have the racing school. We have the team in the Spanish Championship, and we have the fan club. So I mean, it's a lot of small things. I'm not deeply involved in any of them, but I'm aware of what's going on, and that sometimes keeps my mind off things a little bit. And I'm not a guy who's just sitting in the couch or riding the bicycle, or
You're not just going to have your name to something without you having some level of involvement in it.
No.
right?
I mean, it's something that I want to be involved, especially the team. Giving these kids, Portuguese kids, some chance to arrive somewhere, because because I believe there's a lot of hidden talent here in Portugal, but we just need to give them the tools to see where they end up, and I think we have the experience, we have the resources to help them to get somewhere, and that's what we're doing at the moment.
That's super cool because, like I said earlier, this track, genuinely, it's amazing. I think I came here for the CV a few years ago, and that was my first, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the world's greatest shame that it didn't have MotoGP or Formula One. It's now had both.
Exactly.
Estoril, also really nice track, some classic moments that have
FIM after this race.
Yeah.
So, this is obviously great. You've got those two circuits that, especially here, just truly world leading. I'd say Phillip Island Mugello here. Wow, we're gonna get wet.
That was a bit of thunder. Interesting.
And you've
Hurry
got
up.
you now as well, the first Premier Class winner from Portugal. How do you, with the kids and the team that you've got, what is your kind of advice that you give them? Is it just about lending them that support structure? Because we see Spain and Italy, there's so much opportunity for people to kind of turn their talent into a career.
Exactly. For me, it's just giving them the opportunity. Right now, I think we are in a stage where we are not really able to pick one guy and make him a project and carry just this guy somewhere, because we need just to have a larger amount of riders just trying the sport and just see where they end up, or even if they have any abilities. One thing is true is that it's super cool. They look up to me and they see me as their reference, and I didn't have a Portuguese rider that I looked up to, or that had a career which I said, maybe one day I want to be like this guy. And I think there is no price on them having that now, and having a person
right?
to speak to them that's already there. And I see when they speak to me that I see in their eyes, it's
That's
super
really cool.
super grateful.
Don Miguel. I love that headline.
Because at the beginning you were saying you're not bothered by the fame, but that's a different level of fame to actually be an inspiration to somebody.
I'd say that's more
That's what you want.
recognition.
Yes.
That's awesome. Before we've only got a few minutes left, and we've got a couple of quick fire questions we have to ask you. But before we do, there's one more bit I wanted to ask you about, because over the last couple of years, actually, your debriefs have almost become a bit notorious. You're not too into podcasts and things like that, but you're very witty. And some of your one-liners, be it about the bike teams, maybe occasionally other riders, can be.
Miguel is honest.
I think they can.
Honesty
Honesty is the best policy, and I think but I think some of the phrases sometimes you use toe the line perfectly. They're getting across what you really truly want to say without getting in trouble with the team, a sponsor, manufacturer, or another rider. So how do you balance that sort of
and how do you
communication?
speak
that line?
such good English? Because you genuinely do.
I watch a lot of Denzel Washington movies.
Nice.
I don't know. I cannot really explain it to you. I mean, I know my boundaries. I know that I do my best to be honest sometimes. And sometimes the truth might come out differently. There is only one time in my career that I said something which came out wrong, which was with the Spargaro incident in Spielberg. But people take it as they want to see it. I always try to be honest and polite, and especially I know my limits. So
No, it's not your problem if other people interpret it wrongly. Almost,
exactly. That's
and
not
also,
my
no
side.
one wants another copy-pasted version of, yes, I'm very happy to be here. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Probably.
Yes.
No, it can be painful.
Sweet.
Right, okay, quick fire time then. It's not going to be too bad.
Yes. Well,
are we going in the same order?
Yeah, we'll do it in the same order because
Okay.
I'll ask the first one first. So, in case you need a bit of time to think about it, we'll go through the others. All right. So, do you want to start us off, Fran?
Okay, yes. So, you can have a dinner party with 3 people, alive or dead. We're kind of looking for you to not say your family here, famous or kind of
Or
people
Denzel
from
Washington,
history.
to be honest.
You can choose
or maybe
Denzel.
it could be him.
Who would you choose? 3 people.
I want to say that I would sit down Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins.
I
That's
knew
interesting one.
Matt was going to
Entrepreneurial, nice.
that one.
I would sit down with Jeff Bezos, and probably I'm going to need to go to sports and choose Cristiano. just to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That Portuguese flair
Okay,
for the end
yes.
there.
Is Cristiano a bit entrepreneurial as well? Do you know?
No, he's one of the kind who puts his name on things and just
And just
disappears.
goes, yeah, but that's a different level of money. That's the level of money above a MotoGP
Yeah,
ride,
I
I
think,
suppose.
yes.
I have seen one really cool video actually of him, of some kid, I think, trying to ask him a question in Portuguese, and a load of people laughed. And he pulled them up like, hey, like, can any of you do that?
He's
He's trying.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
you know?
Nice.
So that's
good. That's an
better
interesting
side.
trio for sure. So, second question: where is your favourite place in the world? Any individual location?
Portugal.
Well, hey.
now
Fair
we
enough.
get the PR
I mean,
response. Come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, we get it. I mean, it's beautiful. I've not actually been here before we came here last year. I don't blame you. It's nice. Okay, you next.
Okay, so who was your first celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush. I don't remember, but yeah, probably some Portuguese actress, maybe. But
Just like classic TV, like
yeah,
oh.
classic TV romance. That it's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, fair enough.
It's never too late.
What is your favourite dessert?
Favorite dessert. Boof. Hard to choose, but some. Yeah. I don't know. We make a sweet rice here in Portugal.
Yeah, we had it the other day at the hotel.
Really?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, with cinnamon on
Yep.
top. Yeah, I'll go for that.
That is nice.
Pretty cool.
Fair enough.
Sorry, I got distracted there because your press officer's trying to attack the cameraman.
Yeah.
So the final question then: do you have any phobias?
No, I'm not a guy who's afraid of spiders or really snakes or anything like that. Maybe sharks scare me a little bit, but not like a phobia.
Same.
So
Sharks.
I mean,
but I feel like that's a genuine fear because a shark could hurt you a lot.
yeah, they can.
I think it makes sense to be
they can
scared
kill
of them.
you. So I mean,
I gotta say though, you're the third
Vindication.
person we've asked that to, and all three have gone, no, not really. So I think we might have to get rid of that question because
Everyone's super chill and not really
Yeah.
superstitious.
Um,
Right. Thank
Miguel
you so
Oliveira.
much.
Thank you.
wow, interesting.
I
Thank
hope
you
it's
very
not
much.
been a really well. Firstly, I got to say, actually, really appreciate you taking your time out of your very, very busy day.
No problem.
And hopefully, this has been the most enjoyable interview you've had out of maybe 100 so far
Hopefully, you make me look good.
today. To be.
Thanks so
very
much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So hope you all enjoyed that. As you can see, it's getting grayer and rainier by the minute.
And I think I can hear thunder in the background too.
But yeah, I think that was a great episode. Matt, what was your biggest takeaway from that?
I'd had no idea about Miguel Oliveira's entrepreneurial side.
That was- yeah.
Tony Robbins coming up with the dinner was quite a surprise. Jeff Bezos, I guess that's more stereotypical, but and also to hear that he's not the type of guy who just he's got some money to throw away and invest in other things, and he just gives it away and has his
Throw
name
away.
associated. Yeah, I mean, well, no one should really have a load of
Matt's
money
review
and pour it.
of his investment decisions
You don't
is
just-
in.
I don't like those decisions where you just take your money, put it in the back garden, set fire to it, and that's it. You know, you don't want to waste it, do you? But yeah, that was my key takeaway. Get involved though in the question of the day again. Of course, what should riders be only focusing on the riding, or should there be more to their lives outside of it?
And I would like to say,
Yeah, go on.
that one, that my answer is there should always be something else outside.
Ah, boom. Yeah, even if it is breakfast with life in Bali.
And that is a niche
that
niche
is
cut.
That's a pretty good
But
one.
yeah, I think even to be honest, for us, although we are in no way comparable to a rider or the amount of effort, etc., and stresses and stuff that we have in our lives, when you do something so much of the time, when you're kind of so focused, when you're in an event, etc., and I'm sure there's lots and lots of jobs that this applies to, especially those that are much more stress-inducing than ours, like doctors, nurses, etc. I'm sure a lot of you will agree you need to have that time where you can disconnect
Yeah.
and put your brain on something completely different. So yeah, I would say that, but it's an interesting discussion point, I think.
Definitely
So then, comments.
Yes.
You
Well, we
threatened.
did promise we'd do this, but so we got a few comments which I picked out from the YouTube version of the Lucio Cecchinello podcast. So please, if you're still with us, leave a comment below with your thoughts on the episode, your thoughts on the question of the day. We want to get in touch. But I have here a couple of comments from YouTube, good and bad. Braun van Varden said, Lucio and Brivio are my favourite managers in the paddock. Very sad the Brivio left. Same. Yeah,
I
that
did
is-
one note on that. I did enjoy in the press conference where Joan Mir was asked about that. I think it came out a little bit wrong in English.
Yeah.
And his comment was just like, "We don't miss him."
Ouch. Bye.
Which I think means like we are perfectly able to carry on being an excellent team without him, and thank you for all of the stuff that you put in, Davide.
Yeah.
But it was quite a funny one written down in the transcript.
Well, seeing as a bike has started behind us, I'm going to go one more comment and
Go
finish
for
on
it.
a high note, as I think we always should. Maheshwara says, thank you for these podcasts, and I'd just like to say, you're welcome.
You're very welcome.
Next week, well, for the next episode in Jerez, we haven't actually got anything planned yet, but we will. Join us, and also wish our guest Miguel luck. Well, no, actually they can't, because he's already raced by the time this comes out, can they? So,
Yeah.
I guess that's it. See you next
We'll
time.
see if if you do remember, 2020 we were good luck charms.
Oh, yeah, true.
So maybe we've managed it this year. But thanks very much, muito obrigada, and see you next time.